Hey everybody, welcome to Killing Time. I'm IA.
Juice Pop.
Juice Pop is here. This is the show that searches for entertainment that does not suck. I am in my brand new apartment. That's why it's a different background. Rob, you're in your brand new socks?
Yes, new socks.
New socks. Juice Pop, new socks. That's why they call him that. I think his other name was Mr. Fiesta? Not Mr. Party. It was something. I can't remember what it was, but it's somewhere on there. So this episode's going to be a little strange. I don't know if we're going to have a ton of B-roll and awesomeness. As you can see if you're watching the video, I am exhausted. And there's a good reason for that, because we moved in on Friday. We finally got our stuff done on Monday. It's Wednesday when we're recording this, so who knows when you'll be seeing this, because me editing has just got really slow lately. So sorry about that, guys. So I can get this out faster if I just don't do so much editing. But I'll try what I can do. Anything you'd like to tell the people?
Life is good.
Life is good. That's true. So we should start off with, like I said, it's going to look a little weird, might sound a little different, but I'm working on that because I'm setting up this little loft space, and hopefully it'll be good. Right now I'm sitting on a yoga mat, and this microphone, which looks like this massive thing, obviously because it's in the foreground, it's on a box. I'm using a different camera and all that stuff. So you just listen to the audio, you're like, I don't care about this. You guys should talk about something else. So let's talk about Warner Brothers. You're a person who's watched the DC movies of late, right, Rob?
Yes, I am.
And they're doing fantastically well, right?
No, they're not. Especially if people have listened to this show, they know how we feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's a different dark world, and there's news from Variety that said that Warner Brothers is changing up who's going to be in charge of their movies. Now, it was, I don't know who, but the new guy is going to be Warner's executive VP, John Berg, and DC's chief operating officer, Jeff Johns. And Jeff Johns has been doing the TV universe, as far as I know. He's been doing Arrow and Flash.
Yes, and we've talked before of how much we like Flash, so, we're on board with that.
Yeah, so this is going to definitely make it very interesting. So if these guys actually have power, do you think the DC the movie universe is going to be more fun, or are they just going to keep going whole hog, Zack Snyder style, dark, depressing, and grimy?
I think the idea is to try and pull more fun while still keeping a similar tone, it seems to be. That's why they're so interested in the Suicide Squad property, because it still has a darker tone, but it has lighter moments, it appears, by all reports. That's what's going on there. And it does seem like they're kind of grasping, because they're kind of scrambling now that, they thought they were going to base the entire universe around Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and it's not working.
Yeah, that universe setup was not exactly well done. I don't think that's really the fault of the style. It's the fault of the script, honestly.
Right.
And so one of the things about The Flash in particular that's really fun to watch is that they seem to care about the characters. You care about the characters. They have real motivations. And if they bring that kind of intelligence over to the movies, it might really work. Because, like, I know you guys have heard this a million times. Just play the recording at this point. Batman vs. Superman lacks an internal logic, which is a real problem. It doesn't matter that they're not smiling, They can be depressed and they can be angry, but they should have a reason to fight.
Well, right. And, I mean, I know you're not a huge fan of the show, but Arrow is kind of, he broods all the time, but there is emotion there.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Arrow fan because I used to think of it as Batman light.
And that's pretty much what it is.
Well, I mean, now he's like Batman super light, because Batman in the DC movie universe is really dark.
Right.
So the comparison isn't even apt anymore, because this character's so far gone, the movie version, compared to Arrow. Arrow's is kind of like, he's like 1990s animated Batman, slightly.
Yeah.
A little bit more love interests, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think this, I don't know if it's going to fix it. They got Suicide Squad coming up pretty soon.
Speaking of that, what do you think about this rumor that not just a Harley Quinn movie, but other, spin-offs of Suicide Squad are going to happen? Do you think that's just them scrambling to try and latch on to something they think people are going to like, or?
I think they're basically doing Marvel's approach ass backwards. It's like, okay, combine everybody in this movie. Why? We didn't set them up properly. Just do it. Okay, we'll do it backwards. Introduce them all now, and then we'll give you a Wonder Woman movie, We'll give you a Cyborg movie. We'll give you these other guys. We'll explain everything later. So it's the backwards approach. And the same thing would happen with Suicide Squad. You see them be all together. If you want to delve deep into any of these characters, you could do that in the future. It's almost like they're introducing team books first, without true explanation, which
seems backwards. I mean, it does. Especially since everybody's used to the way Marvel does it, where they do each phase. They have the individual movies that lead up to the big get-together movie.
Yeah, Marvel's got this building approach. You build it slowly, you understand the world, and then you can function in it with multiple people. Although I think with Guardians of the Galaxy, they didn't have to worry about that. So maybe it could work if DC does it right with Suicide Squad, because if that movie introduces these characters and you care about them and you want to see their further adventures, it makes sense. Yeah. That's a big if, and that's still... I think the Harley Quinn movie, though, could be funny, but... It
could be. Well, and I think with that, they're banking on the fact that Harley Quinn's a fan favorite just in general. That character has always been a fan favorite, in the comic books. Yeah. She's very popular,
Because there's no way they could fuck that up.
Oh, they absolutely can. But I'm just saying that's what they're banking on.
Yeah, I think... I don't know. They haven't earned any trust in my perspective yet. Right. This is all with a grain of salt at this point, but I'm just, like I said, I think they're kind of scrambling because things aren't going quite the way they expected them to. Yeah, I think that's putting it mildly. The drop-off box office, Batman Superman, was just gigantic. Captain America did pretty well the first 3 weeks. I think they lost out to some kind of family thing the next week, but it was still very close to it. So Captain America...
And it's still made more than $1 billion worldwide and keeps going, so...
Yeah, I think Marvel's just enjoying what they're doing, and it looks good over there. DC scrambling, trying to figure out what to do. And Harley Quinn, the movie, could be great. It could be awful. I've also seen, bad DC animated movies. It's rare. Watch Curse of the Batwoman. It is truly one of the worst animated movies from DC, because their DC animated universe is fantastic.
Yeah, right now there's a lot of hype on the Killing Joke coming out.
What do you think about the Killing Joke? I mean, it looks like it's staying true to the comic.
It looks like it's staying true to the comic book, and I don't know if people know the story, but the Killing Joke is dark. It is a dark animated, and I mean, I think the animated movie got an R rating, I believe.
Yeah, they actually went out with an R rating because in the book, spoilers, folks, we're going to spoil Killing Joke, which I think is about 20 years old at this point. Joker shows up to the Gordon's house and he shoots Barbara right in the stomach, paralyzing her, tortures her, brings her father, James Gordon, to a funhouse, and basically shows him what he's done to his daughter. It's pretty fucked up, and it's vile, and it's awful. You kind of learn a little bit about the Joker and his origins. The Batman has, real conversations with him, as in, what are we doing? Why are we doing this kind of thing? So it's really a deep book. And that, I think, will show us you can have a dark, gritty universe and still have hope, I guess is the word. Mm-hmm. That's the word. It's not lightness or levity. It's hope.
It's hope.
These movies lack hope.
And that's what Marvel does well. I mean, there's some pretty dark matter with, Civil War and Captain America, but you still feel hope, even in the end and throughout the movie.
Well, not to make this entirely about comic books. Did you see that news story where Captain America, or Steve Rogers, has been outed as a Hydra agent?
Yes.
This whole time, Steve Rogers has been a double agent for Hydra, and he has been doing this forever?
For 75 years now.
So even little young Steve Rogers, I can do this all day. Not the movie guy, but similar. Apparently, his mom got into Hydra, so he was Hydra, and now he's been playing double agent for his entire career.
What I've learned about comic books is they'll spin this in a way that it's either not going to be true or it's true for some reason that he was a double agent and working for the good side, or they'll just make up a whole new continuity and say, oops, that never happened.
But they just did that. This is a new continuity. That's the problem. And so they just shoved this monkey wrench into it. And you know what? In some respects, if they stick to it, I'd be very impressed if they did that. But it smacks of Ben Reilly being Spider-Man. It feels like it's for publicity. It feels like they did it to get all those headlines they got today. Yeah, here's the thing. Captain America, the movie's waning at this point. It's like 4 or 5
Yep.
weeks into its run, and it's doing very well. Or like
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks into the run. And internationally, it's doing amazing. To keep Cap in the headlines, you want to see this kind of stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'd imagine you're right that it's going to be, he's a double agent. He's not just a Hydra agent. He's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent playing a Hydra agent who's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, which is the dude behind the other dude.
Who's a dude?
Yeah. So I don't really know where they're going with this. I might have to pick a Captain America book, which I haven't done in a long time. But they got me curious enough to go, what do you do? And why would you do that? And also, they changed his shield, which I didn't realize.
Well, it's because someone else in the continuity has the original Cap shield.
Yeah, Falcon is the new Cap.
Falcon, that's right. That's right. He has the original shield, so this is the new shield.
Okay, so just switching gears entirely before we get to more comic book stuff. Tetris the movie.
Okay. I got a question for you. I've been thinking about it all week since you mentioned this to me. I want you to pitch me the Tetris movie because I have no idea what kind of plot that would be.
Okay, so Tetris the movie, if I'm going to do the elevator pitch, it's kind of like Ender's Game, where the person playing Tetris doesn't realize how big the game is. It's a much larger organizational structure that they're working in. So if they don't piece this together, the world will end. Although, curiously enough, when you score in the game, you lose the line. So perhaps it's about killing a bunch of other people or other universes that you have to somehow figure out this logic puzzle. And once you can figure out this logic puzzle, you can destroy this exact straight line. If you do it any other way, if there's any gaps, it doesn't work. So it's Ender's Game, but with straight lines.
And you need $80 million for this.
Well, that's only part of what it's got, and apparently it's a trilogy is what I think I've read too.
I've heard things, yeah.
I would hope that the second one is Type B Tetris, where like it's already set up stuff, and the third one is Type C, which I can't remember what that was, but maybe it's just a faster version of Tetris. I don't know why on earth this is a movie. Trying to scramble for a plot now. I don't know how you do it.
Neither do I. It makes no sense to me.
Look, now Battleship, which I've watched minutes of, is pretty shitty because although it's a war game, you think you could do a good job with a war game. You could just call it Battleship. But Tetris is not a game that lends itself to live action. This is a live action movie, guys.
Yeah.
Right? So like,
I mean, it's not like Assassin's Creed or Warcraft or those kind of movies that are coming out now. It'd be like trying to make a Pac-Man movie. No, a Pac-Man movie would even work a little bit better.
He's got a character. He's trying to get.
He's got a character. He's got ghosts. Yeah.
Popping pills, trying to get a special pill so he can take out the ghosts. He likes fruit. He's got the misses. He's got Pac-Man Jr. He's got a lot of shit going for him.
So maybe it'd be like Pong?
Yeah, I guess so. Pong would be the closest analog to this. Even I think, what's it called? Breakout? That game would actually have a plot because you're trying to bounce a ball.
Trying to get out of something, yeah.
But this thing is just... It's such a reach, and I'm really curious, like, what kind of nostalgic pop it'll get when we're sitting there, and we're waiting for this movie to come on, and then you hear, like, do, 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 do. Then it slows down. Do, do, whom, whum. And you're like, what the hell? Is that Channing Tatum? Why?
What?
Why is this... By the way, there's no trailer yet, guys. I'm just assuming this is what it's going to sound like and look like.
We have no idea what this is.
Yeah,
we just know that they would just greenlit for $80 million to make this movie.
Yeah. Let's finish this quick episode with
a
discussion on Preacher, which just premiered on AMC this past Sunday. I haven't gotten to watch it, and as you know, and this audience might know, we have both read every issue of Preacher, including Saint of Killers, and any other spin-off book they had at the time. And I believe this show is starring the guy who played Howard Stark.
In Agent Carter, yes.
In the recently canceled Agent Carter show. So when you first told me that, I thought, that's not going to work. I saw a picture of him as Jesse Custer, and I'm like, well, that looks like it's going to work. How, without spoiling it, because I haven't seen it, although if it's like the book, you feel free to spoil it, because I've read the book. How does this show do, considering the subject matter is really hard, I would imagine, to put on television?
Well, the first episode is really all set up, so you really don't get a good feel for a lot of the characters. I actually think he's going to be okay as Jesse. I really like the guy who they got as Cassidy. Tulip, she's a badass, which will work out well. Arseface is in there, which they do really well, actually.
Is it a period piece considering Arseface shoots himself in the face because of Kirk?
I can't tell. At this point he's, at this point when it starts, he's already shot himself in the face, and like in the comic book they have to do a flashback. They haven't said why or how. They didn't even say that was how he did it, but I obviously know because I've read the books. They're taking, even in the first episode, they've already taken some small departures from the original plot, but nothing that, would surprise anybody. But so far, it has me interested. And the episode got really good the last, 5-10 minutes of it, so I'll watch the second one, obviously.
Does it feel like a show where all bets are off, or do you think they're going to...
Not yet. It feels like the last 5 minutes make you feel like maybe it is, because up to that point, it's really a lot of setup, and, it seemed like the tone was a little off, and then, like I said, the last 5 to 10 minutes, it really started to feel more like the Preacher books.
Yeah, because the thing is, I remember in The Walking Dead, its first episode, where they have Rick shoot a little girl zombie, and once they do that, because, that's not something they usually do, you walk away from them, or you run away from them, he has to shoot this thing in the head, and I'm like, okay, you are establishing right off the bat, you are going to do anything and everything on the show, and they have done a pretty good job at that. But then again, Preacher does have a slow build in the book to all the crazy shit that happens in the course of that. Do you think the show will live long enough to include a episode about the Sausage Man?
I do. I do think that.
I don't know, man.
Which is just, it's going to be disturbing.
Yeah, so this is a great episode not to have B-roll, by the way, because I am not showing you the Sausage Man. Although that
No.
Yeah, and also the punchline on that. If you guys haven't read the Preacher books, I think at this time they don't appear as edgy as they were, but at the time in the late 90s, and I guess late 2000s, sorry, early 2000s, I think is when it came out, or late 90s, it was incredibly different from anything you're seeing out there. Nowadays, there's a lot more risk in comic books. You see a lot of crazy stuff. But this book was off the wall.
Yeah, way out there. Revolutionary, so to speak.
So does Cassidy not wear sunglasses in this?
No, he does, at times.
Okay, but they show his eyes?
Yeah.
In the book, do they ever show his eyes?
I don't think so. He always has the sunglasses on.
And even, there was a reason for it. I never quite figured it out. It was a little mystery in the whole book, and they never bothered to explain it. I just assumed that because he was a vampire spoiler, that he had some kind of problem with his eyes, or they're all shot.
Yeah, there was he had the glasses on most of the time, but he did have them off at times. There was a cool scene with him. It's pretty cool. It's a little edgy. Yeah, there's some good stuff in it. Like I said, it definitely, that first episode, since it was all setting everything up, it was a little slow, but there's enough to keep you interested in there.
Is the Word of God introduced right off the in the?
No, not until the very end of that first episode is when it's introduced.
So if you have no idea what we're talking about, go watch it on AMC. You think it's worth watching?
Yes, definitely.
All right. So that's going to wrap up this quick episode of Killing Time. I think this is episode 107, which means 105 is not out, and 96 is not out. So I'm not really sure what I'm doing with those. Maybe I'll just release them all as one mega episode, but I don't know. So we're doing this show at killingtime.tv. You can support us at patreon.com/IAZ. We're a quarter away from introducing a new show, and as you can see in this apartment, if that happens, I have to work really, really fast. So I have to do that, which is a nice bit of kick in the butt. I'm going to thank all these beautiful people who are supporting us at Patreon. Thank you, beautiful people.
Thank you.
Helping us, because you're making this show possible. And any other things, go to youtube.com/finecomedy. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff, because you should. If you're thinking, hey, should I hit the subscribe button? Yeah, hit it. Just hit it once, and then go to somebody else's computer, hit it again. Because
it'll feel so good.
Oh, yeah. It's the way to go. And then you hit thumbs up on it, too. It feels even better. It's unbelievable. Yeah. You won't even believe how it feels. All right. That does it for us, and we'll see everybody next time.
Bye.